What's up, guys? It is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 856,655. I want to apologize for the wind up front. This is my only time I get a chance to make this video. I'm going to be very, very busy today. So I apologize up front for the wind. And I want to get into something that's very, very serious and very, very important. Not just for me, but I just want to document this and also share my thoughts and also make sure we're on the same page and you guys have a full understanding of what I'm thinking and what's going on. And again, I don't have all the answers. So, I've been doing some real deep thinking, man. And last night, after I made that video, I laid down in the bed and I actually listened to the entire Elon Musk, Donald Trump sit-down conversation. I already listened to it one time, but I was doing stuff when I was listening to it. But I really sat down and listened to it. You always know you hear some things different. You pick up things that you didn't pick up the first, second, or third time. The second or third time, the first. And what I noticed was Donald Trump avoided a few things in that conversation. He avoided the thing about the Secret Service, obviously and blatantly dropping the ball. Now he didn't necessarily how can I say this? Didn't shy away from the conspiracy conversation, but he definitely was very careful on what he said because you got to put yourself in his shoes. He's a guy that travels around with these people, the Secret Service, and they're his friends, and he don't want to be talking bad about them because I don't think he even thinks that the people that jumped on him on that stage were part of it. I think it was a combination of some things that are much eviler and higher up than even Donald Trump can even imagine. So it was a lot of that. So he didn't even get into that. And you could tell Elon Musk wanted to get into that. He also kind of skirted around the conversation about how inflation is started. Just Donald Trump is very bland when it comes to that. Oh, prices are high and blah, 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 blah. And again, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I donate to Donald Trump and I support Donald Trump. But that's just intellectually dishonest for Donald Trump to sit there and say Joe Biden is the one that started inflation. Every single president in the United States history have started inflation, including Donald Trump. Donald Trump, again, inflation comes from one place, that's Washington, D.C., and the money printers. And he's not a king or a monarch or anything like that, but he definitely signed off on a lot of that overspending and printing money out of thin air. Through his campaign, through his presidential run in 2016, 2020. He just did. He just did, guys. And I love Donald Trump. And I know when I say that to you guys, you Trumpers out there, you get upset with me, but I just got to keep it real. And I'm just listening to it, and I started getting happy because I knew that in the next day that the mainstream media would just come out and just absolutely attack Donald Trump. I like to use this analogy about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is like a person that hits the beehive, right? You may not even know a beehive is there, right? It may be hidden somewhere. And you may see a bee here or there. But if somebody finds it and then takes a stick and hits it, it might be a small one, but then there's a big one up in the attic or up in the corner or somewhere in the shed or outside or something. And if you do that, those bees just come out and just go crazy. And that's what Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is that stick to those quote-unquote bees, Democrats and Republicans, guys, that do not and did not want Donald Trump in office. And why didn't they want him in office? Well, for several reasons, I believe. And again, I don't live in Washington, D.C. I'm not part of that club. I don't know what's going on. I'm just an outsider trying to use some critical thinking and common sense. Not conspiracy, just critical thinking and common sense. And saying, wow, Donald Trump, before he came in office, he was loved by these people. When he was a donator and parties and all these people loved him, Democrats and Republicans. Remember, he was a Democrat from New York City. He's a yuppie. He's a rich guy. But then when he saw what was going on, because I truly believe that Barack Obama, when he first ran, I believe Barack Obama was a good guy. And that's hard to think about that and say that now you know, 20 years later. But I believe that he came in with good intentions. I think he just got corrupted when he came into office very, very quickly. And you know, Barack Obama had that it factor. He was just a great speaker, good-looking guy. He was just a transcending man. He was like a dark version of JFK, but smoother and a little bit of a better talker. And he was just unbelievable. Barack Obama was an unbelievable guy, man. He just was, objectively speaking, right? But then you got back to Donald Trump. Then you got Donald Trump coming in, hitting that bee's nest, and just waking up the swamp creatures, the rhinos, the establishment, the evil doers, people that didn't want him in, not because they were evil or bad, because some of them just didn't want him in because he was an outsider, he was brash, and people don't like Donald Trump. People don't like a billionaire that thinks he knows everything and everything else. But once the dust started settling, and then you realize that this guy really had a chance to win, and then he did win eventually, because he was not supposed to win, in my estimation. He just wasn't. Hillary Clinton was supposed to win. Hillary Clinton got the popular vote. And by the way, Democrats will always get the popular vote, guys. Why? Because there's more Democrats per capita in the country, particularly New York City, which is a big population of the state of New York. Many people in New York and many people in California. Those are our two most populated states, probably the two most populated states, and in the Union. And they're always going to be blue, always. So when you see Donald Trump in the Bronx and him, you know, people giving him, you know, rallies and stuff in New York City, even though he's from New York City, he would never win New York City. It would always be blue. And he wasn't supposed to win against Hillary Clinton. He just wasn't. And when he did, boy, oh boy, some of the guys, some of the Republicans, and even a few Democrats that were okay, that just weren't completely captured and bought and paid for, some of those guys that weren't like evil and stuff like that, were just, you know, regular politicians that weren't in the pockets of these people, started, you know, kind of getting on board with Donald Trump, right? But the attacks kept coming. And you see the bee's nest and the beehives and the bees coming out. And they were just on him like it wasn't nothing. The machine came after him. And what is the machine? The oligarchs, the corporations, the military-industrial complex. A lot of people that have a lot of money that will not be named in this video started sicking everybody after him. And what happened? We had the Mueller report. They were accusing this man of treason, not stealing the election, not just stealing the election, of treason, of working with one of our biggest enemies, Russia, into colluding to steal the election. And they had a Mueller report for 3 years, 2 plus 3 years, 2 plus years, 3 years or whatever. And it came out, nothing happened. So not only did they not apologize for being wrong, the mainstream media and everybody that blew the whistle at them and stuff like that, but now they don't even talk about it anymore. The guy that committed treason, apparently, that's all they talked about 24/7 on CNN and MSNBC. Not only did they not apologize for it, but they don't even talk about it anymore. YouTube is going to love this video. Do me a favor, guys, real quick. I don't know how long I'm going to be on YouTube because I'm sick and tired of being shadow banned here, to be honest. But the only reason I'm here is because these are where the normies are at, right? I do have an account with Rumble. If something happens to me here, I'll go over to Rumble. So all you got to do is just type in Jerry Loves Freedom at Rumble. Over there on Rumble, same thing. And I'll start uploading over there. I just don't want to be in an echo chamber. I want to talk to the normies, and the normies are all over here. The people that are awake are already over on, most of them are on X, Rumble, and definitely Nostr, Nostr. And they didn't say anything about it anymore. They just moved on to the next thing. What'd they do? They impeached him twice. They said that he started an insurrection on January 6th. I mean, they're calling January 6th September 11th all over again. Pearl Harbor all over again. And to say that, the mainstream media and these Democrats And these rhinos to say that, to even come out of their mouth, you know, to say 3,000 people died, over 3,000 people died in September 11th. January 6th wasn't one of those days that I remember exactly where I was at. You know, I do vaguely remember it. Sorry about the wind, guys. But it wasn't like September 11th. And obviously we weren't alive during Pearl Harbor, but I'm pretty sure if you ask somebody who was alive during Pearl Harbor, they're not going to tell you that January 6th was like Pearl Harbor. Jesus. Can't even say that without even... But what I do know is the summer of love in 2020 and 2021, when Antifa, Black Lives Matter were burning down city after city, all in the name of wokeness or George Floyd or whatever the hell they were mad about at the time. Whatever victimhood thing they were getting propagandized about, and the mainstream media actually not only covering up for these people, but actually encouraged them and saying, hey, there's nothing over here, nothing to see here. Remember mostly peaceful protests, and the shit was burning in the background? Sorry, guys. By any measure, how you want to measure the insurrection versus all that stuff that happened with Antifa, and by the way, the Roe v. Wade wasn't good either, protest. If you want to measure it by how many people died, how much damage there was caused and still happened, it's not even close to what Antifa and Black Lives Matter did. The only thing that's really, really bad about the January 6th attacks is that so many innocent people that were let in to the Capitol, that were let in literally, and looked like they're on a tour, that they're still sitting in jail and being treated like a prisoner of war within the border of our country. And every day I think about it, just pisses me off, man. These people, to say these people are evil is not even the word. Then you fast forward to 2020, or go back to 2020, and they're all the reason why it started because Joe Biden got elected illegally into office, and he got 81 million votes, which everybody knows he didn't get that. And there were so many election interferences things. Oh, YouTube's gonna love this. And so many things with the Hunter laptop, and just all the lies and the cover-ups by the media, and him just campaigning through his basement, Joe Biden not doing anything, and when he did come out, nobody even showed up to his rallies. Meanwhile, Trump is they're just loving Trump, man. They're loving him. Again, he's not Barack Obama, he's not articulate like that. He's like a character, you know what I mean? He's a real dude. You know, there's nobody like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a one of one. There's never been, has been, or probably ever be another Donald Trump. Like him or love him, he's the most polarizing person, I believe, in political history since Abraham Lincoln. I believe that. There's nobody since Abraham Lincoln is more polarizing than him. FDR is up there though too. But, you know, polarizing, I mean, JFK's up there too, but Donald Trump, my Lord, man, they just go crazy over that dude. So they stole the election in 2020. We all know it. I'm sick and tired of fucking lying about it. We're covering up. We're not saying it because I'm scared of being censored. Fuck that. Excuse my language. Now, what's going on now? Well, June 27th, Joe Biden absolutely collapses in the debate. In 3.5 years, for 3.5 years and longer, because he had dementia or something, whatever he had. I'm not a doctor. He's had it since 2019, and the media has been covering up for him. And all the way up until that point of June 27th, what they tell us with all those videos 2 or 3 weeks before that, about a week or two before that, what were they saying? Oh, those are cheap fakes. Remember the cheap fake bullshit they told us? Remember all the videos that came out about him wandering off over here and wandering off over there and stumbling down here and stumbling up there? Remember those videos that they tell you that was fake? The cheap fakes, aka real videos? Then the media couldn't lie anymore on live national TV when he came up there and just absolutely laid an egg. Laid an egg. So what they do, they press the button on Joe Biden and they let loose on him. Is it because they care about Joe Biden? Is it because they want Trump to win? Why? Why they do that? We know why he did it. Because they said, okay, the gig or the jig is up. We can't do this anymore. It's time to get him out of here. Because the machine needs a new puppet, guys. That's what it was. June 27th, 2024. Never forget that day. And I was sad that day, man. I was. So the question that I asked for everybody, which I was already asking since January 2021, is who in the fuck is running this country? Now that's the biggest question I have. Who is running our country right now? The most dangerous time in U.S. history from a World War III standpoint. Who the fuck is running this country? Really? Tell me that in the comment section, because I don't know. I have no idea who's running our country right now. It damn sure ain't Joe Biden. We already knew that though. And the whole world knows it, which is dangerous. And our countrymen know it. But they don't care. And the media doesn't care. And I guess the politicians don't care. So why the fuck do I care? So they dropped Joe Biden on June 27th. A couple weeks go by, they're just doing their job, the mainstream media, talking about Joe Biden. There's a civil war going on in the Democrat Party. And then what happened? Donald Trump gets on the stage on July 13th, 2024 at 6:11 p.m. in Pennsylvania. CNN, who never comes out and covers a live coverage of Donald Trump, they covered him live that day to see him get JFK'd on live TV, in my personal opinion. And they tried to JFK him, and it didn't work. They tried to blow the man's brains out, and it didn't work. And they talked about it lightly for 3 days, and then they forgot about it. And then what happened 8 days after he got shot? Because it was on a Saturday, I'll never forget that. That next week, a week and a day, on Sunday, I was in Phoenix. Joe Biden comes on Twitter, X, writes a unofficial letter without the presidential seal, doesn't do a conference, doesn't do a phone call, and tells everybody he's dropping out of the race. Why are you dropping out of the race? Nobody ever asked him that. And nobody will ask him that in the mainstream media. He drops out. The Democratic Party, remember that? The one that says we have to fight for democracy against Donald Trump? This is all about our democracy. So what'd they turn around and do? The person that was a pun of a joke, or the part of the joke, the end of the joke where they said, oh, well, we can't replace Joe Biden because we got Kamala Harris, who was the ultimate insurance policy that Joe Biden couldn't run. Once they found out the delegates had to go to her, and the super PAC and all the donation money had to go to her, all of a sudden the person that a couple of months ago before that, saying that she wasn't good on the ticket, she was slowing down the ticket, and how unpopular she was, and how much radical she was, and all these bad things. And all of a sudden, and the border czar, she was bad at it, and all of a sudden, not only was she not the border czar, but she's the greatest thing since sliced bread now. Kamala Harris, the black woman. I feel like I'm living in the fucking Twilight Zone, man. I get up every day, I hear that music, and I try to laugh and joke and shit, but this shit isn't even funny, man, because we have a commander-in-chief or a president in name only, a PINO, P-I-N-O, a president in name only. And now we have a woman who everybody hated, and all of a sudden they're going to pretend to love. She's not the border czar, she's a black woman, allegedly. All these things. And it's been over 3 weeks, and she has not done one press conference, hasn't done one sit-down interview, and hasn't really sat down and answered any questions, stopped and answered any real questions. And she won't. This woman will not go on Fox News, ever. She will not go to Newsmax. Any enemy territory, she won't go there. You know it, and I know it. So what's the game plan here, man? What are they going to do with this woman? Is she a communist? Is she a Marxist? She's a puppet. A puppet for the machine, guys. That's what she is. Because the machine is running our fucking country. And I'll tell you this right now. This machine is not good. They're not Christians. That's all I will say. And this is scary as hell, man. Our whole civilization could be wiped out like that in a nuclear war. Do you know that? Do you know what a nuclear war would do to us? And we're this close to it, man. All in the name of stopping Donald Trump. This is how crazy and stupid people are, man. Why are we not standing up and going to the White House and saying, who the hell's running our country? Why are we not doing a January 6th? I'm not talking about the fake January 6th where they lied to you and tell you it was violent, which it wasn't. The only person that died was a MAGA woman that tried to come through the window and they shot her. God rest her soul. Why are we not stomping the streets? Why are we working and paying taxes to this tyrannical government? Do you want to give your money to a government like this that pays the media to lie to you, that takes your money and sends it overseas, that prints money like it's nobody's business? Again, if they could print money, why the fuck are we paying taxes? That's a rhetorical question. So we don't have a president, a real president, just a Pinot, president name only. We got a fake ass nominee who nobody likes, but pretending they'd like. Won't take any questions. Who's shooting and filming a movie. And you got the mainstream media just putting out scripts. Because let me tell you something about the mainstream media and the establishment. These people stick together, man. When they get on something, they stick to fucking together. The weird shit, and it's not Democrats either. Not just Democrats. What's his name? George Bush and them used to do it with the terrorist shit. Weapons of mass destruction. Remember that fucking lie? This ain't about Democrats and Republicans. I told you guys that. It's not. It's deeper than that, man. You think Mitt Romney's a good guy? You think Nikki Haley's a good girl? You think Mitch the Grinch McConnell is a good guy because they got an R next to their name? No, they're not. It's not Republican and Democrats, guys. It's deeper than that. It's good versus evil and traitors versus patriots. And you guys know what side I'm on, and I know what side you're on. Go to Rumble and follow me on Jerry Loves Freedom on Rumble. Because I don't know how long I'm going to be on here, man. I can't do it. I can't do this fake shit, man. And this whole world is fucking fake as hell. I'm fired up today, man, because I got into some heated discussions, let's say, with some people today. And I don't back down from nobody. The people that I like talking to the most is why I can't fucking stand Kamala Harris. I would never shy away against opposing ideas. Donald Trump was on Elon Musk's show yesterday, talking for 2.5 hours, however long it was. You think Kamala Harris will ever go on Elon Musk's show? Ever? And that's what I was talking about today. Why doesn't she do it? Because she doesn't have to. Because she works for the machine. She's a puppet of the machine. And the propagandists, aka the journalists, are playing cover for her. If they weren't doing that for her, and they actually did covers like they did for Biden those 2 weeks after the debate, she wouldn't be anything. She would collapse. It's all fake and it's all a fucking house of cards. But despite that bullshit, and Donald Trump, I love Donald Trump, but he lied about inflation. Despite that, we need Donald Trump in office. With him, with the combination of the real money that we need, the hardest money in the world, we can't lose, I don't believe. He's still going to be fighting against everybody, and they're going to be fighting against him. But one thing, they can fight all they want against Donald Trump. They can do that, but one thing they cannot beat, the puppet masters. It's the hardest money in the world. And I think you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.